Hello? Yes, everyone can hear me? Okay, thank you. I know this is the last session of the day for you. You get already a lot of energy. So before we start brainstorming and discussing about the things, let's stand up and if the people can help me there. So just some moves, some energy. Go. Enough? Is it good? Enough energy? Okay, thank you everyone. I think a lot of energy is coming up. Okay, I see a lot of people smiling. That was my goal of to have you back because of the whole long day and then here. Why I choose this song? You see a mix of Indian people and also Moroccan people because I'm original from Morocco, but I'm living in Belgium, born in Belgium, but my parents are from Morocco. And that's why I choose this mix. I'm in India here now, and I for sure want to come back to visit other places because I didn't thought that India was so big as I know now. Good, thank you all already for the moves and the dance. Before I start with brainstorming and discussing the meeting, I want first of all to ask you to sit together a little bit in of different tables. I think that table is good. There can be one or like 5 or 4 people per table. Yeah. Good job. I see you good there. If you can with 4 in each table.
Yeah, 4 or 5 in each table, right?
Yeah.
So there are 6.
Yeah.
2 can come here.
Yeah, you can sit there. Yeah, great. You guys, if you can also split.
One can join this table.
Yeah.
Here. Any one of you?
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, great.
Couple of them can join.
Yeah. Okay, there are some post-its on your table. I put also a puzzle, but that was while you are waiting that everyone is coming. You can fill the puzzle, but I think everyone is already done, or it's up to you if you want to fill it in. It's just to give people time, if they are here, to connect to each other and so on. I see we are not a big group. Maybe it's good to introduce yourself very around the table so that we have know each other by name. I don't know if I will remember the name, but it's just easy to connect with you. I will start with you, lady who was dancing, lady from France. Your name? Juana. Yeah, just your name and where you come from. Okay, great. Nice. Okay. 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 Hello. You can also introduce yourself, your name, and where you come from. Thailand. Okay, nice. From Thailand? Paris, I hear that. There, the correct, huh? Yeah. Okay, and yeah, that's maybe better.
Chennai, India.
Okay.
Yeah, I am Usha. I am from Chennai.
Okay, great. Yeah. From where? Okay, nice. Good. So before we start, I want first of all to hear from you, what is your expectation from this session? What do you want? Because I want to fulfill your expectation. It's a workshop, so I will try at the end of the meeting to see if we have the expectation that you thought in your mind that we fulfill them for you. So just think, I will give you 5 minutes or 3, 4, 5 minutes. If you're ready, just say like that. I will put them here so we can look back on them. So everyone has a post-it. I think everyone can do it on their own. So if you can write what is your expectation from this session, that we can put it here. And if you are finished, you can just come with your post-it and put it here. Can I use the micro? We are with a small group, so we can make it more interactive than I thought. So yeah, you can come. Yeah, just maybe just a small. What did you expect today?
Well, actually, I have zero expectation because I struggle with this word, but I'm 100% trust that I will be surprised.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ona.
My expectation out of this meeting is like right now most of the people are connecting from home, or it's like a hybrid work from home or work from office. So I just wanted to make sure end of this session, at least what are the best ways we might be following, but I'm looking for something better or innovative things.
Okay. Thank you, Nirmala. Okay. Yes. You can take the micro, Sagar.
Hello everyone. So I am part of an organization that is remote only. So particularly this session is very important for me to understand how these hybrid meetings can, keep the motivation within the team. I am into a managerial role, so specifically this is very important for me to understand.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sagar. Ankit, yes?
Yeah, so expectation for me would be how to make existing meetings more fun.
Thank you. That's also a very important thing. Vija? Yeah. Yes.
My expectation is I will learn at least one new facilitation technique and take it back and practice. It can be anything. So.
Okay. We will see at the end if it's a good technique that you can take with you. Group?
So, Guru, so how do we stay collaborative despite all the challenges of working remotely? So to me, the meetings are basically the symptoms of the entire team dynamics. So I just want to see how some of these meetings can be made effective so that the team dynamics remain positive and collaborative.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Annie. Thank you.
So it's adding to what Guru said, how to improve collaboration, especially for introvert people on a remote working environment.
Great. Then you're, I think, with the right person here. Correct. Somebody else who want to have other things than the things that are on our board? Yes. Perfect.
Just one more thing, I created it on the fly. So how do we make people to switch on their cameras without forcing them?
That's a good one. That's not an easy one. Yes, hello. And your name was? Ros. Okay. And what do you expect from this session?
Actually, I just want to get some inspirations, get some ideas, and enjoy.
Oh, yeah. I think we already enjoy a little bit. It was a little bit late, but we can do it at the end if you want. Guys there, somebody else who want to add something extra? You guys there? You want? Okay, great. You can say something? Yeah.
It says silence. You were asking, one of you was asking about how to make introverted people speak. So I experience silence in meetings. Is there any way out of it, or should we just deal with the silence?
Can you explain it again? If people are silent?
So sometimes when I facilitate some session, say I ask a question or I ask people, let's assume there are 10 people in the meeting. I ask a question, what do you think about this? Do you have any inputs? There'll be that moment of silence.
Okay. Yeah.
And then one person who maybe is an extrovert or maybe is a team lead in that team or the product owner maybe, they'll just speak up, probably to break the silence. So one puzzle I've been having is, should we break the silence? Okay. Because sometimes people need time to think, or if they're just people, introverted people, they're not feeling safe to speak up.
Okay.
What's the right thing to do?
Okay, great. I hope I can fulfill your expectation. Great. I will. Lady, her name. I will put it here if we need the microphone. You can hear me back. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. I don't need this anymore. We can just switch off. Voila. So I will not use a presentation. I'll only use the flip charts. So before, now the expectations are clear, so I try to fulfill them for you with our brainstorm session. Who saw what I did when you enter? What we did in the beginning? Dancing, okay. Okay, I will come to there. That's easier. Yeah. Okay. Dancing is one, indeed. Yeah, grouping. Yes.
Something just to pass the time.
Yes. Like, and what's that kind of? Indeed. Indeed. Check-in. I heard check-in, connecting. Yes. Yes. And what was my goal? Yes, indeed. Okay, yes. And how we can see it as a check-in or a connection between the people. I think it was helpful for us to just, because we had a long day, it is the last session, and I know a lot of people get a lot of information, and just to break out, to break the silence is just to move. I know not everyone can do that or want to do that, so leave everyone on his own. So if I will try to ask you, oh, come, move, or ask you to introduce yourself, but we will not force people. So we can, per table, you can brainstorm about what we said. I will write it here down. It's more the check-in of the connection. That's the start of your meeting. So I will write it here down. So if you can, brainstorm with your team or with the table how you connect with people before or during, with the start of your meeting. How can you connect with the people to bring them into the meeting and so on? Just write it down on a post-it, discuss. Discuss together. If any questions, just let me know. I hope it's clear what I mean for everyone. Yeah. So if you are starting your meeting, you need to connect, like I did, to introduce yourself. There are several things, but I just want first to hear from you, and then I will share also my experience and how I do that with my meetings. So what are the things that you get from now, from today, like the dancing, the connection, introduce yourself, which kind of questions you can ask, but I will not do deep dive for you, but just also discuss on the table also, and also write first for yourself and then discuss with the table. And also, I heard indeed, like introduction, connection, you can only do it for small teams, but for large teams, what can you do for large teams, for example? You have small teams where you can do indeed like, how do you feel, how was your weekend, and so on. But what can you do also for bigger teams? Think up front. I already did some kind of stuff. Everything clear for you? Everything clear? Yeah. If you need something, just let me know. Do you find your way? Yeah, great. And indeed, think also for bigger groups. You have the smaller groups and the bigger. If we can wrap up with your conclusion, and to bring it up front, you can choose one person per table, If you need more time, just who needs more time? It's okay if you need more time? No, okay. So if you can point someone from your team and come with information that you get and explain it towards who wants to start? Who wants to come? Yes, Annie, thank you for being the first. Woo! So you need also to encourage people, to encourage your, yeah.
Am I audible? Okay. Check-in. Okay. So we usually discuss this, and in most of our meetings we start with check-ins. Check-ins in the sense nothing related to work. General check-ins on how we are feeling as individuals. So this actually works with smaller groups, not with larger groups. And another interesting one we pointed out is for larger groups, how do you connect with people? So it's you can run a Menti with general questions or more with a trivia about your company, organization, your project, domain, so that people will start opening up, then you can get to the real agenda. Then probably, yeah, again, same thing, check in, and we ask the team, how do you feel? How do you feel today? And I like the one you just mentioned. Certain words are banned. Good, great, I'm good, I'm not okay, I'm fine, I'm okay. Those are banned. Really showcase and open up on how you really feel. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, you can put post-its on the right side. You can put them here, Annie. Thank you for checking questions. Yeah. Any questions towards Annie? Is everything clear? Okay, thank you. The next table. I will.
Yeah. So we were talking how we can engage people with the camera on because it's a different level of connection, and one of the check-in is to express how you come into the meeting. So how are you, but not with words, but with a facial expression. I don't know. We didn't really do that. We have something on that. And then there was start calm. So let's get the stress down with a calming activity, like grounding, you know. And I don't know. I don't know.
In the middle? Yeah. Perfect.
Also, start with a joke. It's something really that can be important. Let's not take us seriously for a moment. I know that I've done that. You say, hey, write in the chat, what are you doing right now? Like, I'm cooking, I'm and listening to this meeting, yeah. Then what I was saying, if I have a check-in to connect to a deeper level, if people don't know themselves, like a question, but not only who are you and what are you doing. I mean, hello, I'm Juana, I'm a coach so-and-so, and I'm coming from there. It's ask a question that connects on a deeper level, something like I'm saying, what is a taste or a flavor that reminds you from the childhood? Something that it's another level. It's not really intimate, but different. And also it's a little bit generic, but sometimes if people know themselves, is have a check-in that is aligned with the purpose of the meeting, because some people in some cultures can be a little bit bored by check-ins that are off. And there was something else we were discussing for the large groups that I'm personally using when you have large groups and you want them to really connect to make check-ins in breakout rooms when it's virtual.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And indeed, like she said, in breakout rooms, it's how we did it also here. Eh? You can also do it like if you have people online, then you can also make some breakout session and also per table, so you can also brainstorm, because the facilitator cannot always facilitate and brainstorm. So great. Any questions towards the team?
The last point was in groups that, and it depends on the culture, but mainly in large groups, by the way, having a check-in that is aligned with the purpose, the goal of the meeting. Because sometimes, yeah, people can get bored to have check-ins that are completely off, out of scope.
Indeed, correct. I will come later on that with some examples that I also did with my teams. Guys from there, if you want to... it's now your turn. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, so basically with a casual greet, I'll start the meeting. How are you? And if the meeting is on a Monday, then I'll just check whether what you did on a weekend. We sometimes discuss about sports as well. Like in India, cricket is like everyone's game, right? So we discuss about sport. If there was some match, maybe the previous week, we discuss about some sport for 5-10 minutes, and then I'll begin with the meeting. This works for small groups, but if it's a very big group, this we follow the whole organization wide. We play some music, basically we play a YouTube video or something. If there are more than 500-600 people joining, right? So first 5-10 minutes, we allow people to join, and by that time we play some music.
Okay, nice, great.
And regarding this greet or something, right? This works when all people are in same time zone, probably belonging to the same culture. I'm talking country-wise. But the question here for me is how will it work in cross-culture? That is something I'm still not sure. I mean, there are different challenges there, I feel. So how do we enable that kind of thing when you're interacting with people from different countries or different culture?
Who can help Sagar with this? Is the question clear, or what his question is? Yeah, you can give the mic to... If you can come here, maybe that's okay. Yeah, that's good. It's up to you. I will not force anyone. It's like putting your camera on, and like you said, you can never force people, because if you want to stay in connection with people, you never know what's happening outside the camera. So I will not force anyone to come. I will ask you to come, but I will not say it every time. So if you want to come and
yeah,
set
sure.
up,
So I
welcome.
think the question, if I understand you well, is how do we deal with meetings when there are cross cultures, different cultures involved? So we did one, because that was the time when we had complete remote working. Now at least we see once in a week. There is still something very common about cross cultures. For example, she's from a different culture, different country, but still she could find something which could unite at least 3-4 countries, right? She had a song which could probably connect, and a dance. Song and a dance is something that unites a lot of people across cultures. So does sports, so does food. And especially with the food, I think a lot of people could talk about it. And many people across cultures had a taste of Indian food for sure. So it was also about, asking those questions. For example, when you remember India, what do you really, what comes to your mind? a same question was posed to us in India, where, you know, when you think about Netherlands, what do you think about it? What is the first question that really comes to mind? So there are different ways of, you know, there are things that cuts across culture. You know, we are all humans. So I think there are many ways to do it.
Okay.
Just a few ideas.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You want to add something? Yes, great.
No, I think as an individual, we need to also understand, show some interest to understand the other culture. Then only we can actually interact with them. And we can't expect like every time they will be able to understand us, even though we are majority.
Okay. Yeah, you want also to add something?
Hollywood movies.
Yeah, indeed. Bollywood or Hollywood? I said Hollywood. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, something else you want to add? Okay. Thank you. Good. I want also to add something on that. I'm working also with a big team of 17 people with 14 nationalities. So they're all living in Belgium, and we have two, one in South Africa, one in New York. So we manage ourselves also to talk to each other, to do more fun. Like the food one was a very nice one. What we also did is like everyone needs to play some music from his or her country. And always to listen to each other. Or also, for example, I want to say also in the beginning of the meeting, namaste, but I forget to do that. But by this, namaste, so that you also connect with the people in the same language. For example, I have Spanish people that said buenos dias, or hello, or I don't know how to say it in Spain, or bonjour. So, salam alaikum. So just to connect with the people. Also, at the start of the meeting, you can speak, if you can, the same language as the person up front you. It's more for the small groups. Yeah.
This is the things that you said is inside the meeting, right? Once the meeting has started. So few things for cross-cultural things before the meeting is scheduled or started, right? Few things to consider is the timeline, you know, whether it is comfortable for everybody. I should not schedule meetings in grave hours, right? You know, which everybody cannot attend. So like that, and then knowing few things, culturally sensitive things, and trying to not use it, right? So a word or something can be normal in my culture, but it may be hurting, or it may not be an appropriate one in another culture. So knowing those intricacies and avoiding those, or following which is good, I think those are preparatory things for a cross-cultural.
Yeah. And I think, like what you said, like sharing your information, for example, your religion, your culture, and what else, it's awareness towards your team. That's also an important thing. For example, I'm living in Belgium, where a lot of Muslims living there. The Ramadan is almost there. What we are doing is just to bring more information about Ramadan. What is Ramadan and what we are doing. And also at the end of the Ramadan is Eid al-Fitr. So we will also invite the colleagues to drink some Moroccan tea and Moroccan cookies, just to bring the awareness and everyone learn from each other. We have also Indian people in our company, and with Diwali, we also celebrate that. Our colleagues bring some cookies, we dance, we did something else, and not folk. The work is also very important, but sometimes we need also to go outside to just connect to each other, and that's a good example that you bring towards the team. Thank you. Then I need only the last thing. Okay, great.
How are you doing today, and how was your day? And a short weekend story, what did you do over the weekend? And there was one more thing about if it's a remote meeting, where you're meeting over, say, Zoom or Teams, just ask people to put in some emoji using the Teams emoji, smiley. Actually, one of our meetings, we tried it, and after that, 2 people turned on their videos. So some progress there. And another one is about the people in the team to talk about each other's hobbies. So one person who comes out and says, the hobby of the other person is this. That gets people talking. And it reminded me of one more exercise we did in our team, which is, before the meeting, ask people to come with a childhood photo of theirs, or a photo showing what their hobby is, and they can talk about it. So even if it's a cross-cultural team, the childhood photo or their hobby that can make people know more about each other.
Yeah, great, thank you. You can hang them on the right side. Any questions? Yeah.
I agree, if it's a small team, we have the time, but time is equivalent to money and time is valuable for everyone. So, I mean, it's one of the challenge which I am facing because we work cross-functional like PST, EST, IST and CST. So it's very difficult to get their time. That too from the business, right? It's very valuable. So how best we can utilize, that is the first challenging question as a Scrum Master for me. So we do have all these team building activities. We have the cultural committee itself in the team every Friday or once in a week. We have dedicated time for all these activities. But when it comes to that bigger audience, that too when the stakeholders are available, how better with a short span of time? Because I cannot take 15 minutes to get everyone's details or introduction and anything like that. So is there any one thing within a short span we can connect and complete this check-in?
Anyone with some ideas here or can help her? The question is how she can connect with, for small groups it's very easy, you can plan several things to check in, how was your day, how was your weekend and so on. But for bigger groups, how you will connect during the meeting with the audience?
I think check in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I cannot plan in 1 hour meeting where the stakeholders are available. Time is money for everyone.
We can do a check-in. Okay, do your check-in in 10 seconds or 15 seconds, not more. Everybody has only 15 seconds time slot to do a check-in. Very fast, very quick, to the point, not exaggerating, right? Like what I'm doing right now, I'm expanding, not like that, but just have it crisp check-in. 10 minutes or 15 minutes check-in is one. With regards to games, you can have like Agile. What we used to do is we used to post the pictures of and ask them to guess the Agile term out of it. User story, right? User is somewhere and story, we will have a different picture kind of thing and ask people to check it. So 3 or 4 questions just to bring in the mood, which will be completed in 2-3 minutes and then move on very quickly. So those kind of things you can do it.
So 10 seconds for each. Definition of 10 seconds for everybody is actually different, right? That happens. Somebody gets emotional and like they start the story. So in a big group may not be a right thing to do. Somebody said about the Mentimeter, using the Menti. So use that. I mean, in 2 minutes you'll be done. Give 2 minutes time and then how do you feel today? And everybody will just do it. So probably that's one thing that can be tried.
And don't forget to, you have also your chat where people can use it, and also people from remotely and offline, so you need to check them together.
And check-in does not necessarily mean that everyone needs to interact all the time. So if you can keep them on their toes and without interacting, that might work. Like for example, let's say you have a group of 20 people, you have your wheel decide on the screen and say, okay, one or two persons will get the chance to speak out and you spin the wheel. So you keep everyone on their toes. That will serve the purpose as well if it's a larger audience, for example.
Yeah,
Okay.
the connection during the meeting.
So only check-in, right? Okay.
Yeah, connection, check-in, what's in
So,
the name.
so to me, I picked 3 words there, right? You know, one is 1 hour, then strategy, stakeholders, right? And different cultures, right? And to me, and within the time limit of 1 hour. So to me, this seemed like too many constraints, right? All at once, right? And so to me, the question that comes to my mind is, what's the purpose of this meeting, right? So if we have a larger purpose, like, having a good relationship, making sure that, we get the best out of the meetings, and stuff like that. A lot of things need to happen behind the scenes. Yeah, so I think that's what comes to my mind.
I also think you had a good example about not the funny check-ins, but more about what's the content about the meeting, that you start there with a question or what else that you said in the beginning.
Yeah, actually what I wanted, but already said, but I think if you have large groups, the best way, not everyone can connect to everyone. If you have 60 persons, that's for sure. But you can create small groups in breakout rooms, and they have 5 minutes to have their check-in. So, and it will create another energy, even if not everyone will have connect with everyone. And then it depends. For example, if you have you need to unfold creativity, have a check-in around creativity. But you say so before. If not, people won't understand why they are coloring animals or try to marry an animal with a house. Whatever is the check-in. But you say, hey, because this session is about creativity, we propose you this type of check-in. So when that a little bit of context and why you are proposing that check-in can help. That's
indeed. Yeah, you can. You can give it to me. Yeah, great. But I'll also use, I see that large groups also using. Okay, this one is more funny, but you can do it also very serious, like a puzzle or a game that you can use while the people are joining. They can just put their answers into the chat. And in the meantime, you're also connected. You are also all together thinking on the same thing. That's also a way how to connect with bigger groups. But indeed, it's not always easy because you have a time, you have your stakeholders, time is money, and so on. I think we can recap here on this one. I don't know if somebody wants to say something or to add something.
And for me, that doesn't work that well. It depends on people. There's not much motivation to answer in the chat.
Yeah.
That's my experience.
Yeah.
I'd rather prefer to really interact than just answering. Because I thought it was a good idea, but it depends on the group. Some groups.
Okay. Yeah. What I try to do, if you indeed with a larger group, I'm talking about 30 people. It's for me already a large group. What we ask, you can make some rules already up front, like, okay, if you have a question, use the chat, and the person who is leading the meeting, he can answer immediately. The facilitator needs to follow the chat and check, like, okay, Mohammed or Brenda, I saw a question. Can you please answer on this question? And this is how I also do it. It's also my experience. I'm also learning here from you today because we all having the same issues sometimes. So that is thing that helped me during the session. You ask the people, use the chat. Also, that's something that we also discussed before during the meeting. That are the other rules. Good. Any other questions about this?
Had a point, another idea about the camera on thing, right? We had one monthly camera on meeting that was called as camera on meeting. And usually people don't come on to camera, it's very difficult. So we actually called it as one, and we said that, this is informal. And, the workshop that I spoke about, people talking about food, culture, hobbies. And we named it as, team connecting meeting on camera, right? So that people are ready. This was scheduled every month. And, we could have at least, I was part of the team for 6 months. And all the 6 months we ran this, and then we could see how people started becoming more and more comfortable about coming on camera.
So sorry for being pessimistic here now. So we had this session called like virtual coffee. So every week we did the same thing, like, it's virtual coffee, so it's a casual chat.
Yeah.
Everybody switched on the camera. But when we are back to the normal daily scrums, it's back to square one. So that's where I'm struggling, so for example.
Yes,
Sorry.
absolutely. I think, people do go back to their, no camera version, right? But also that was about, sometimes about leadership as well. When leaders started coming on camera, I think, a lot of people started following them as well, right? So I think, yeah, I know.
Can we recap here, or maybe the last one who can add something? Yes?
When we say this virtual meetings, right, our team, all our meetings, whether it's onshore, offshore, all are virtual meetings. So, but it was not so easy. Initially, as he mentioned, that leader coming up, right, that is the one way. And the other way, within the team members, the meeting etiquettes and how important enabling the camera. See, when we all are not on camera, I might be speaking something, you might be doing something else, or we might be assuming something else. But when I'm speaking, if you can see me on the camera with my expressions, you know what I'm telling, I'm trying to say, even though I'm not speaking. So we brought that awareness multiple sessions. So after that, slowly team members understood, and at the same time understand the reality, because we all were connecting from the home. So whatever it could be the situation, right? It's okay. You can be on the camera with normal, however you want. You don't need to be like formal, dressed up and everything. So we have given that comfortness to the team members. So ours is one of the ideal team in our organization. Everyone says that this team follows. We can also try that out.
Okay, great. Thank you. Great.
And somewhere, I think, it's also about, organizations being comfortable about it's okay if people don't come on cameras sometimes.
It's okay, and I'm pretty sure for that. Do not force people, because you will lose people in the meantime. And if you are already a team that are working a couple years ago, you can ask, why you are not putting your camera on? Then it's okay. But do not ask it again or 3 times, so that person, maybe there's something that happens. So, yeah. So that is our check-in, the connection, how we will bring everyone together on the same page. I want to discuss another thing. Before we start this connection, the meeting, you have other things to do before you start. So let's think. Maybe I will put it here. It's more your preparation. I think we will not go too much in detail, like the connection, because the connection is one of the important things that you need to do at the start of your meeting, during the meeting, and the end of the meeting. Also, the facilitator needs to stay focused. And what is also important, what I do also, and help me a lot, is also in small groups. If people entering the room or the online meeting, name them by name, like, hello, Ona, hello, welcome, just to have that connection with them. So that's also a thing that I try to do with the people to stay in connection. So we will do a shorter one about the preparation. What is very important before you start your meeting to do for the preparation? Because that's also part of the meetings. You have your online meeting, you have a hybrid meeting, so the offlines and the people who are online. How do you prepare yourself as a facilitator to go to the meeting? Just a couple of minutes to think about it, or you can, maybe you can just just say it. I will put here already preparation. You can already start brainstorming. Preparation. Just write for yourself and then brainstorm with the team. Guys, if you want to sit together with the other groups, if it's easier for you. If we can wrap up and come to some ideas that helps you to prepare your meeting. One of your team can come and share, or just sit on the table, take the mic, point somebody else, not always the same people. That's also something important to do during meetings.
Yeah,
Try to choose some as facilitator, because you're already knowing the group. For larger groups, you will not ask people to answer, but for smaller groups, choose somebody else so that everyone has a word.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, so we were discussing that the meeting should be time boxed. Agenda should be very clear before sending the invite, right? Agenda has to be written very well. And many times we have seen people spend a lot of time defining solution in the call, which is a wrong approach actually, and that's why they drain in the call, right? They go in discussion, endless discussion, which does not have conclusions, right? So usually we advise that if it requires some problem solving, define your problem, come with certain documents, right? So that the other people in the room who are going to join the call read and come, right? So that the meeting is fruitful. And the one thing which I have observed in most of the meeting is people don't conclude what is next, right? They just leave, talk, exit a call and complain. Okay, we are doing lot of calls, but then they don't conclude what is the next. So concluding the call is very, very important.
Yeah, preparation.
Yeah. So preparation I'll talk. So
okay,
thank you. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
I think she added 7 P's. If you want to describe. Okay,
it's okay, it's okay. If you can add something valuable to the team, then it's always okay to talk, for sure.
I was saying that I'm using a tool to prepare that I find very helpful. It's called the 7 Ps. So when you prepare a meeting, think of 7 dimensions. One, it's what is the purpose of a meeting? If there are meetings more, workshops more tricky and important, what is the purpose? That is one level P. Who are the people are in? What are the pitfalls? What can go wrong? What are the prerequisites? What do you need? You need post-its, you need lights, you need camera. I don't know. What do you need? Preparation. Do you need to prepare some material before? I don't know, support
materials,
or whatever.
Tools.
Materials, tools. And then what is, because it's called 7P, the product. So what is the result that you want to have to see out? If it's a success, what is the result? And the last, but of course not the least, but is the last because it's a kind of result of all the other ones, which is called process, which is really the design of the agenda. But you design the agenda in respect with the people, with the pitfalls, with the result, with the purpose, everything else. So it's a way to have a kind of a 360 for preparation that I find useful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ona, for valuable remarks.
Sure.
Someone from here?
Our team try to avoid PPTs because it's more a monologue or a one-way flow. Try to use collaboration tools like Miro, Mural, where everybody can virtually participate in the same place. And for meetings, have a proper flow for the time box, right? 1 hour or 2 hour meeting. Don't have a unprepared meeting, right? So each 10 minutes or 15 minutes have a proper flow towards it. Send review material before the meeting. So anything people need to come prepared for the meeting, right? So that people come prepared, and we don't explore that inside the meeting. People are prepared, and then we do the agenda properly inside the meeting.
Okay.
And share the reports or documents, anything prior to the meeting, preparatory material, again the same points here.
Yeah.
And agenda, pre-read, people's availability, check people if they are available or not, double booking the calendar, those things could be, because some of them would come to the meeting, some of them would not make it, and which would not be fruitful to everybody. And that's it, I think. Anything I missed?
Okay, thank you. Very valuable remarks. The other table? Yeah, okay, thank you.
So our team coming up with something like very similar to 7P. We have like technical side of things, screen sharing, checking connectivities and voice. Is that clear enough to understand to hearing? And we have like purpose of meeting, agenda, and the checklist, what needs to be done in the meeting, stuff like that.
Okay. Can I
Thank
take
you so
this
much.
one with me so that I can put them? Okay, great. It's for everyone clear what she said? Or do I need to repeat something? Yes?
I'm not sure if it sounds a little different. There is a concept called meeting before meeting. If it is something very critical meeting where you're looking for a final decision, so you can have a meeting before meeting the critical persons rather than this mails and everything, right? Have a quick connect for 5-10 minutes, set the stage, so that when we go for the bigger forum, right, they will be clear why we are going. So it's very easy to take the decisions. I mean, personally, it worked out for me, so I'm just sharing it here.
Okay, still, I will put them here. Good. So for the preparation, I think I will recap a clear agenda. What is also very important or can be helpful for you is to go and check already the room where you will present. It's also something that you're also already comfortable with the room. That gives you as a facilitator a way that you already know your room. Time boxing is also very important. It's also something that we trying to do here with the facilitators without that you see, they say already, I have still 30 minutes for this session. So that's also something you need, as a facilitator, you don't need to do that always on your own. Please ask the other people to help you, because a facilitator needs also help from other people. What is also very important is to check indeed the voice. What's your name again, sorry? Yeah.
Ross.
Yeah, you said like you need to check the voice. Sometimes what we hear last times is put yourself on mute and so on. And the checklist, take note what needs to be done is also the purpose of the meeting and the result. Anything else here for the preparation? Yeah.
And there could be some social connect, that was missing in an online meeting. So some of the best practices, the moderator can join 5 minutes before and then have that casual conversation which was missing in the online.
Yeah, you can also do that with your the people who are working from home, you can ask a virtual break, like, okay, take 5 minutes to switch to the other meeting, or you can do some funny things if you are a smaller group, so that they, like we did, just to dance. I know some people will not dance with you, but it's just some ideas that you can do with the team to bring them back from the other meeting to the other one. Indeed, in the future, or in the past, when we go from the other one to the other, we walked, we took some coffee, or we talked to other colleagues, and that's now sometime. What we did in our company is to make the meetings, instead of 1 hour, 50 minutes. That's also a thing. I will put it here. That's also a good idea. It's not for everyone workable, because still people book a 1 hour session. But I think if you are working together and you are in a safe environment, you can always ask your colleagues, please, can you take that into account? It's to make it a meeting of 50 minutes instead of 1 hour. So I will put it also here. Someone who wants to remark here on this one, or something else? Yes.
Just one more thing, maybe thought of sharing it because it's worth sharing. So especially when you are facilitating meetings with the senior leadership, for example, all of them are really good talkers and maybe not the best listeners. So one of the structures that I have adapted is like you have discussions, decisions, actions, and tasks. The difference is like discussions needs to end up in a decision. Decision should lead either to an action, which should be owned by one single person, or it should lead to a task which is owned by everybody. So everybody needs to go out and execute. And when it comes to decisions, there are two types of when it comes to discussions, there are two types of discussions. One thing would be, okay, you have a problem, you need to have a discussion on the different solutions that you can take on that problem. That's one type of discussions. And then if you have multiple solutions, we need to have a discussion to agree on one single solution, so that becomes a decision. So you have to, if you can bring that clarity before the meeting, that has ended up being more productive meeting. So thought of sharing that.
Great. Very helpful. Thank you. Any questions for this one, for the preparation? No. Then still 2 topics that I want to discuss. One is also, I think, the connection and the preparation. We start with the preparation of your session. You check the room, you have your goal, a clear agenda, the meeting minutes if that's necessary, and some ideas that you get from other people. I will share them afterwards also with you. So it will come from Agile India towards you. The other thing is what I find very important. Who is a good actor? Who wants to act something with me now? Someone? Yeah, go. We are gonna play. Thank you. We are gonna play like we are in a meeting. You just start the meeting. Good morning. How are you? I cannot hear you. You're on mute. Okay. That's good that you didn't hear her, because that's the goal of this session.
Hey, how are you?
Honey, can you put the kids outside, because I'm in an important meeting?
Hannah, are you there? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
Good, fine. Thank you.
Oh,
okay.
Can I consider you are on camera, because I could see you?
Yeah, you can see me.
Yeah.
I will put my, you don't see me?
No,
okay, I will put my camera on.
Yeah, what's special? You're blushing. Anything special?
No, everything is fine. No, okay. Thank you. That's enough. I just want to come with an example here. You see that I ask during this session, put yourself on mute. Can you put your camera on? And that is also something important that you need to agree with your team during the meeting. And also as a facilitator, you can go if you want, you can take it with you. It's also, I will put here during the meeting. I think the focus there for a facilitator is also very important. to stay in focus with your audience. For example, if you are asking everyone, put yourself on mute, some of the people are still, you hear out, honey, or baby, or you hear kids screaming. So as a facilitator, you have also the rules to put people on mute. You can also just ask the people. I will put everyone on mute because it will disturb us. So just some ideas during the meeting that you are, or issues that you're raising up during the meetings, just bring them up toward us, and then we can think about some ideas that can be helpful for us during the meetings to think about as a facilitator. So issues or things that you want to know more about, or things that, because I think this is also we don't think that much about it, but it's still a very important thing during the meeting, to stay on focus, to stay in connect with your audience, to facilitate it, and so on.
And also, we should be in touch with the topic, right? Some of the times we get deviated with the topic. I can connect with his things like decision, discussion, and action. So that is also considered this category.
Okay, yeah.
Staying connection, again, I think something that should come naturally. Like, for example, let's say now you responded saying, okay, you are on mute and I can't hear you. So what I would have said was, okay, that was on purpose. I was checking my video. You were looking at me, so that's good. So yeah. it comes naturally. So if people will laugh and someone will talk something else, so that creates a kind of a natural connection. So just.
Okay, it's not a big one, but it's for sure an important thing to think about. The other table, anything from your part? The micro, so that everyone can hear you? Yeah, during the meeting, yeah?
Yeah, during the meeting, right? So I think the focus of this is on hybrid meetings, and I think the most challenging part is, like, let's say part of the team is in one room and others are connected via like some kind of tool, right? I think the dynamics within
it's like this sound here. So.
Yeah, not just that, right? So what could happen is, like, while you may be trying to read the room properly, but then like this group has a side meeting going on,
yeah.
right? So,
yeah. Yeah. And what can you do as a facilitator there?
Yeah, I think,
as a leader of the team meeting.
Yeah, I think in these cases, I think I would insist on like having the video on because I'm assuming that they are in a proper meeting room with proper video conferencing where everyone is visible, so that at least I can get some body language cues, right? Otherwise, it makes it really hard, like, because there could be like people can go on mute and then have a side conversation. It's not bad. Sometimes those are really useful, but the focus, like, I don't know whether everyone would be actually thinking about the same topic. Would they be?
Facilitator, we cannot forget people online. Sometimes we forget that.
Okay, that's a good, indeed. Focus on your audience and know who your audience is. Yeah, you can continue with. Can you take the mic, because we don't hear you? I don't hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Focus on the audience and also like be mindful of where they are in terms of their physical space. Yeah. Some people could be mental as well. Yeah.
I will put online and offline people. Yeah. Indeed, sometimes we start a discussion if we are in a room and we forget the other people outside, like, oh, and then as a facilitator of someone else from the team, you can help each other. If you see your facilitator is not taking aware of that, help each other to bring that in aware during the meeting.
Okay, I have a question. Since it's about meetings in the hybrid environment, how many meetings are more meetings? and how many people are more people, and how many hours is more hours. Is there some sort of thumb rule that we can follow to say that, because this is a complaint that we often hear, especially when we are in an agile environment, too many meetings, you don't let us work, it's more meetings, you're killing us by meetings, death by meetings is one of the things that I often hear. Is there a way where we can accomplish things without meetings? Probably no, but how can we?
Ask the team.
Yeah.
So the only answer that can given is only by the team themselves. We cannot decide for the team. If you have retros of other meetings where you reflect on your work, let's bring it up front and say, okay, you said okay, we have too much meetings, bring it up and let's bring the discussion into the team. And they are the decision makers.
If I can add to that, right, how to avoid meetings. One technique that we follow is lots of asynchronous communication. So we have a team space or a team collaboration space, right, where everybody is there. And the asynchronous communication is very active there. It's not just, nobody touches it. Every communication goes there. And there it gets decided, should we get into a meeting or not to discuss this. If it can be solved and communicated in that meeting and everybody in that in the virtual space, then I think we don't need a meeting. So.
Yeah, that's something that you will not do that during the meeting, like, oh, let's end up this meeting here because it's not valuable anymore.
This is preparation, prior to the meeting.
It's part of the preparation.
It's more of a preparation part.
And part of the preparation is indeed to see the purpose of the meeting. If there is no purpose and there is no result, or you don't know what is the definition of done of the meeting, then you don't need to do the meeting at all.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I got this question during the meeting is, during the meeting when we see that people are not engaged, we usually say that, no, you're not coming on camera, you're not engaged. But the question is never, why are they not engaged? Does the topic that we are talking to probably don't need them, or they're probably doing they want to do something more important, but they're being pulled into meeting, right? So a lot of questions related to engagement during the meeting is related to the preparation part or the purpose part, or probably like he said, most of the things could have been done through asynchronous communication, but just because we have meetings scheduled by somebody who is at the top level, people are just being compliant and then they're just there in the meeting physically. So,
but you as a coach or a scrum master or what else, or just a team member, you can bring this towards the team and try to see why you are not engaged or why where you wasn't there during the meeting. If you are in a safe, it's very important to always have a safe environment where you can discuss everything and where people also can share their feelings. Like at the other session of one of the speakers is just talk about your feelings. If people can share about their feelings and say how they feel, you can ask them why you are not engaged during that meeting. Then it's more easier to understand the people why. Maybe something happens at home or anything else, and that's also important to, and that's back to the connection. It's always about connection. Also during the meeting, focus on the audience and stay connected. That's also one of my things that I do as a facilitator. Stay connected is mean that you, if the cameras are on, look to the body language of the people. If also people in the room, if you see like people are saying like this, then you can ask them, okay, while you are looking, is there something, so that you also bring the people who are working from home towards the people who are working at the office.
Another thing to add, right? Concept called kill the meeting. So say if we have a 1 hour or a 2 hour meeting scheduled and we don't do enough preparation activities, right preparation activities, people are there inside the meeting. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it's not going as we expected. So then take a stock. Should we continue or just cut the call, go back to our work, and then we schedule it later? So taking that strong decision, can we kill this meeting right away? because it is, just because we schedule, we don't need to spend the next 2 hours deliberating what to do. So that, what I would say, like
That's a good
readiness
one
to kill the meeting.
Check with your audience. Someone who wants to add something else for some ideas for during the meeting? I don't hear you. Yeah.
I got inspired by the conversation on two topics. One about engagement. There's a relationship between them. So sometimes when you facilitate large group, you can't see everyone. Depends on the tool. So in corporate we have Teams, and in Teams you can't, so you just don't know if people have camera on or off. And if you need to present, it's kind of difficult. Also, if you have a shared tool, you need to share a presentation or whiteboard, then you don't see anything of the people, so that's can be a little bit of lonely. So for that was actually, there was a relation, because I wanted to say it's important to, I think, to have a co-facilitator always, even if it's only virtual, who can see the chat, because if you share your screen, you don't see the chat. That's so it's very important to have a buddy, and also if it's hybrid, even more, have a facilitator in presence and dedicated facilitator with moments when we bridge. It's kind of 2 meetings. And it's like that because, I mean, that's my experience. Yeah. And then from moments to moments, you bridge the 2. That was it.
Okay,
I
great.
think having a co-facilitator will help to avoid the boredom of listening to one person alone, right? One person's voice alone. Say it's a 2-hour meeting and listening to one person's voice is boring. So 2 people can handle it better.
And one more point on during meetings, I think discipline is really important. Like, we shouldn't be having meetings inside meetings. So, like, if there are meetings happening inside the meetings, you have to make sure that in a non-offensive way to get everybody into one single meeting. I think that's really important. So, I mean, if the audience is really used to it, that's fine. If not, it's a journey. So you have to make sure that, we maintain discipline during the meeting. So just one thing, and maybe on the comment that you made, like, sharing something and looking at the people. Again, that depends on the tool. Like, I can share some of my things that I do. Like, for example, if it's Teams, I mean, if you have two monitors, I mean, I can just simply share my monitor and I can look at the laptop screen, because normally you have the camera on the laptop. So when you're looking at the laptop, people, if you have 2 monitors, that's fine. And if you are a receiver, now in Teams, you have the pop-out feature enabled. So you can pop out the people and the presentation. So you can have it in 2 different monitors if you have monitors, 2 monitors.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Last question about this during the meeting?
The co-facilitation, just wanted to add a small thing, big +1 to that. One thing I learned the hard way, I was facilitating a session using the mural tool. I had missed to add another person as a co-facilitator. So there is this admin access on that mural. For some reason, I couldn't access mural at all. Okay. So that meeting just went for a toss. So always ensure, if it's some tool where you have to have an admin access, give that access to another person, the co-facilitator.
And did you, as facilitator, didn't have access, or the people?
Me, I was not able to get into the tool.
Okay. Somebody who can give some ideas here, what can be helpful there if one person or 2 persons hasn't access to...
I think her problem is she's the host and she has all the admin controls, and she herself couldn't enter into the mural. Okay. And so it's like sharing the host access or the rights with someone else. So if she's unable...
That's why it's very important to do this. Check your tools before you start a meeting. Do a dry run. That's maybe something that we didn't talk about here. A dry run is also a very important thing to do with your team. Yeah.
it's for that more meetings and more people, right? So I would consider this as not more. Just see whether the right people are there in that meeting, and it's like right people and the right meetings are happening. So you can see the cadence, you can have it. And after 2-3 months or 2 weeks, you can retrospect. If you feel something is not working out, drop it.
Annie, yeah, thank you. Annie, if you can give some feedback there before you leave. Yeah. You have a post-it? Yeah, okay. Or just, good. Then the last meeting, what I just asked her is, it's already time, I think, or most, how many minutes do we still have? 5 minutes. I think it's a good one to just, I think it's, I made already there one, is to ask, what, at the end of the meeting is, how do you call end of the meeting? A kind of checkout or end of meeting? It depends. I will call it here a kind of checkout. What do you do? What do you do?
Validate if we have achieved the outcome of the meeting.
Yeah, achieve the outcome of the meeting. Yeah. Something else? Can you repeat, because I don't hear you?
Action items.
Action points, did you say?
Action items.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's... yeah, you can... action points. What else that you can do with your checkout? You are finalizing your meeting. You want to see if the people are happy or I don't know. What can you ask them?
Yeah, ROTI, like return on time invested on a scale of 1 to 5.
Okay, and how do we call that? Roti.
Yeah.
Great. Everyone is familiar with roti? Who is, yeah. Is that roti? You know what is roti? People there? You know what roti is? No. Roti is return on time investment. Okay, great. So that's, roti is from 1 to 5. If you want to ask people, like, we can do it now. How was this session for you from 1 to 5? Just do like this, or this, or this. Just raise up your hands from 1 to 5. How was this session for you? Just do it. People? Yeah. And that's also a thing that you can do with your team. Just also for you as a facilitator to have a feeling like, okay, I can improve, or it was good, but always, there are always things to improve, so that's good to ask a roti. The most of them ask from 1 to 5.
Many times we celebrate milestones. So the end of the meeting, we make sure everyone turn on the video and clap or chillam, whatever they want. They can throw the chair also, but we make sure that they are energized.
Not at the laptop.
But for sure, I think that's celebrate the things,
Yeah,
the deliverables. It's a very good one, because in my team, I had that during my retrospective. There were some people like saying, we always want to improve, but we never celebrate things. And thank you for raising up that thing. From there, anything else you do with the checkout during the meeting? What are the things that you're using? If okay, no? Okay, you can...
Yeah, one thing that we started using recently is like feedback on 3 dimensions: hand, head, and heart. Hand, is there something actionable coming out of this meeting? Head, did it actually inspire new thoughts, new ideas? Heart, how did it actually make you feel? Do you feel more connected or more disconnected?
Hand, and then
Hand,
head?
Head and heart.
And heart. Okay. Heart with yeah, okay.
One thing we used to do is, before the meeting, we assign a person as an observer. So he will be part of the meeting, but he will also observe how the meeting is being run. At the end of the meeting, he or she will share the feedback. How, not about any individual or anything, but overall how the meeting went. Did we achieve the outcome or not? So one person taking a third view and then sharing that feedback as an observer.
I think that's the thing that we also put here, achieving our outcomes. So I think we can recap the meeting. We had our expectations, where they are here. You put here your expectations. I think the most of you remember the expectation. If there is something that you still have like, I'm not there, it's not enough, just raise it up. All the expectations are fulfilled for everyone?
Yes.
Yes, it's like this, huh? Yes, for everyone? Yes. That's also a check that you can do with your team. Also from home, you have your thumbs that you can use online. Just ask them, thumbs on, and they can use it. So I'm happy that we can fulfill our expectations. I will share them for sure with you. So we can recap. The preparation is very important. You have several things that we need to take into account. The connection is, for me, one of the important things as a facilitator. Also, when you work as a team, stay in connect with people. You can do that also in your preparation. You can also already ask people, is it okay for you if I share this slide, or if I take it like this or that? During the meeting, the focus of the facilitator is very important. Ask help if you need a buddy or a co-facilitator. Also check with the people online, offline. If the facilitator is not aware, please make him aware. You're there as a team, you need to work as a team, so let people engage, and that's also one of the engagement. So this one is also not an easy one. Like when you present something, then you don't see any audience. What you can do is to have two screens as a speaker. And sometimes in our case, we have also a small a picture of the people who are working from home. You can see them also. It depends on the tools that you have in your company. And the checkout is just also for the facilitator to check with the audience, how was the meeting. I think we have several examples here to use them in our next meetings. I hope you have some tips and tricks to go with and start with. I will for sure take pictures and share the things that we discuss here. Thank you also for the very good interaction with you. I like the interaction with all of you. Thank you for that. So if you also, we are finishing now the meeting, so thank you again. If you have any feedback for me, things that I can improve also, I'm also here to learn. And thank you also for the insights that I get from you. So I will be also take a lot of things with me to on Monday to start there with the team. Thank you.